Surely you've heard about this new term, quiet quitting. Well, in today's video, we're going to talk about what exactly that is and how you and your team can avoid ever getting to that point. But first, let's talk about what quiet quitting even is. So I have the definition pulled up here. So dictionary.com refers to quiet quitting as the informal term for the practice of reducing the amount of effort one devotes to one's job, such as by stopping the completion of any tasks not explicitly stated in the job description. So to break that down for you in layman's terms, it basically means people aren't going above and beyond anymore, right? We're going to come to work, we're going to do what we're supposed to do, we're going to clock out, and we're going to go home. Now, you may be thinking, well, is that an entirely a bad thing? Well, I think a lot of this is coming from years and years of working in toxic work environments, right? So this is a topic that we're commonly talking about amongst my private clients inside of Grindaholics Anonymous. And so I wanted to take some time to share 5 actionable tips with you that you can implement within your virtual team to prevent quiet quitting. Now, it's worth mentioning that a lot of workplaces have that unhealthy, toxic work culture, right? And so we think that this basically means, well, does this, are our team members not committed anymore? Do they not care about the job that they're doing? Do they not want to go above and beyond? But what if I told you that your team members could be committed, could care about the work that they do, could go quote unquote above and beyond, but still within healthy parameters and healthy boundaries that you as the CEO set and maintain? So let's go ahead and dig into the 5 things you can do on your team to encourage your team members to stay engaged and to not quiet quit on you. Number 1 is trusting your team. Now, when your team members first start with you, of course, you're not going to trust them with everything on day 1, right? That's not normal. I don't think anybody expects that of you. And to be completely honest, the employee probably doesn't trust you 100% either because you're still growing in your relationship together. However, you do need to be working at it every single day to give them more and more of that trust. And so a practical way that you can do that is, they start with you, you've created like a training plan of how you want to get them from 0 to 100% within their role within a set time frame. And so maybe you start by delegating smaller projects to them, but really allow them, to give it some effort, to try, to show you what they're capable of. And then once they prove themselves, once, that project was done well, then we want to extend, the trust even more, right? We want to reward them for the good work that they're doing and show them that we're willing to give a little bit more as we go along as well. I think the mistake that a lot of us make is that we want to keep our team at, an arm's length. And that's because we don't trust them, right? We're looking at them as if they are these intruders into our business when really they're there to help us and to be an asset. When you don't trust your team, they don't feel like they can really be themselves in the workplace, which can honestly lead to quiet quitting down the road. Number 2 is for you to allow them to meet their potential. You would be surprised how high and wide our team members can truly grow if we simply give them the space to do so, right? Sometimes we are keeping our team members in such a box that they never grow past what we allow them to grow past, right? So really loosen the reins a little bit, right? As you grow in your relationship and you build that trust that we just talked about, you want to back off some of that micromanaging that you may be doing subconsciously because you're afraid of kind of letting them do their thing, right? As I have grown in my relationship with, let's say, my marketing coordinator, I found that she has so many incredible ideas. She really knows how to execute. And I wasn't able to discover that until I kind of let her do her thing. I stopped hovering over her. And since then, she's planned entire launches, entire, challenges and whatnot on her own that were successful and brought a completely different dynamic to the company. Again, the way that this is, discouraging people from quiet quitting is it's showing them that I can grow here. I can really, let my wings, spread and I can flourish as well. Now, number 3 is giving them a reason to care. So you have your SOPs, your KPIs, all your processes, perfect, right? But why should they care, right? Why should they buy into a lot of the extra things that you've created within your business outside of the day-to-day tasks that they're supposed to be doing? Well, sometimes our team members can't see the correlation between the actions that they're, doing within the company and how that affects the business long term. So if you can simply share with them the way that what they do correlates to success in the business, it can go a long way. So let's use the example of data entry. If you have a data entry specialist on your team and you expect them to hit a certain productivity marker, you expect them to move at a certain pace. Well, in their eyes, they may be viewing it as, this girl just wants me to work quick. She just wants me to turn these numbers out, whatever. But what if you were able to explain that Well, the more productive that we are during the workday, the more profitable the company is. The more profitable the company is, the more we can evaluate our employees' salaries and benefits on an annual basis. Maybe the more that our bonuses increase, whatever. And it doesn't always have to correlate to money, but that's just an example. But giving them a reason to care is going to show them how all of the pieces of the puzzle kind of come together. And the common theme throughout this entire video is we really want to move away from treating our team members like they're just workers, right? And treating them like they are truly a piece of the pie. Now, number 4 is sharing relevant business details. So if you are someone who has people on your team that are working directly to affect your bottom line, it may be important that they know what some of those numbers are. So for example, if you've been less than satisfied with your last couple of launches that you've had within your business, but yet you aren't sharing things like conversion rates, revenue, all of those different metrics with your team, how could they possibly know how one action affects the next, right? When I started sharing my expense reports with my operations manager, I think it gave her a whole new perspective of what expenses were necessary and what weren't necessary. Just being able to see how much money we were spending on certain things. Since then, we've been able to cut our expenses significantly. And now we even take time each quarter to review our different expenses for our tech and different systems and platforms to see what we can consolidate and what we can cut. That has taken a lot of pressure off of me as the CEO because there's that additional buy-in. Same thing with my marketing coordinator. After really getting into some of the numbers of course, revenue and the conversion and all of that, when she's now writing different emails and creating different social media content, she can write with true sales in mind because she understands how one email may lead to a certain amount of signups or X, Y, and Z. Now again, correlating this back to the quiet quitting thing, they just feel like they understand more of what they're doing. They feel like they're less of a number, right? They're not just people who work here, but they're truly looped into the bigger picture of the company, and the work that they do every single day is contributing to the company ultimately reaching its vision. Now, number 5 is arguably the most important, and that is honoring boundaries. We have the opportunity to really undo a lot of the toxic workplace culture that we've seen in the past. So don't bug your team members after work hours. If they've had a set schedule that has been created, don't ask them to work outside of those hours unless you plan to compensate them in some way, right? Let them take time off. And when they take time off, don't make them feel guilty for it. Don't make them come back to a massive list of things to do. If a team member has expressed that they're having a rough day or they're going through something or they're having, a mental health day, whatever, have the emotional intelligence to maybe offer them a half day off or offer them a full day off, right? And know that that is so much more valuable long term than asking them to push through it anyways, right? Now more than ever, it is so important that we acknowledge that the people we work with are in fact people. They have feelings and they are experiencing life in a way that you may not be, right? We're all going through different things. And as much as we would love to have this division between work and our personal lives, sometimes it simply just does not exist. And so if you as the leader can have that emotional intelligence, that alone is going to eliminate this need for quiet quitting because they're going to feel like they're in a place that's safe, where they can truly feel how they're feeling. They don't have to hide it, right? This emotional shutdown of, I'm not going above and beyond for this job anymore, comes from years and years of feeling underappreciated and undervalued. So tell me in the comments below, was this helpful for you? Did this provide a different perspective, right? I think we want to spend so much time focusing on how to fix quiet quitting, but what if we just prevented it from happening in the first place? So which tips will you implement first? Now, if you want to see more videos like this about team, culture, all of that, then be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you can see more. Now, be sure to check out this video where I share 4 of my top team communication tools. So if you're wanting to take this culture thing to the next level and really organize the way that you communicate with your team, be sure to check out this video. See you in the next one.